Guys, I want you to zoom out of you. I want you to understand that the way you perceive reality is filtered through you. And so, what I want you to do is zoom out of yourself. Most of you guys zoom in on yourself and you never get the broad picture. You never get the overview of actually being an existential entity diverse in the universe with free will. And so what I want you to understand is that you need to zoom out of yourself. You need to zoom out of your environment. And I want you to see the world as it is, not as you are. And so what the world is a sandbox of creation. When you walk down the street or you're riding in your car and you look out the window, what you see is creation in the form of capitalistic businesses to generate profit, to thrive in the current predicament of what we exist in. And so if society is revolving around capitalism, if society is revolving around money, money makes the world go round. If society is revolving around money and you see left and right that everyone is after money and they are in an active state of creating on the path and the trajectory of generating money, generating profit, well, I want you to understand that I said all that to prove the point of we live in a sandbox of creation. And so because we live in a society where money makes the world go round, no matter where you are in the world, if you have money, you will have leverage. And so the point being said is that if society was different, if the accolades or the conditions of existing in this world were different, we would be at a different spectrum of active creation. That does not mean that the current predicament we are in now is negative. It simply means that we are always in an active state of creation, manifestation. Now, the most potent archetypes that exist within this society is the master and the slave. Because when you have money as leverage, you now can either become a master, a wielder, and a creator, or you can simply suckle off of someone else's success. And so what do we talk the most about? What do I preach about the most? It's being the best version of you and succeeding at the highest level in life. What I am for you is a conduit of success. And so what I want to do is gift you the ability to succeed through me being a successor over what tried to hold me down. So what we do is we are infinite pioneers, engineering reality to our will, overcoming what tries to get in front of us. And so what I want you to understand is that if you want to win in life, well, you need to embody the success mindset. This is why I wanted you to zoom out. When you zoom out, you are no longer limited to who you are. And so what you have to understand is when you break through the limit of you and you understand you are simply potential within a body navigating the space and quantum continuum, you now operate from a level of zero limitations. The reason most people stay the same place and never make a move is because they are trapped and entrapped in their own limitations created by their identity. When you zoom out from who you are to just what is, you begin to embody a state of consciousness which is no longer perplexed and complicated, but is simply being. And when you enter the state of being, you can now create your reality towards the trajectory you want instead of being a slave. And so what we have to understand about these two archetypes is that you get to choose which one you want to be, and you have to understand that the reward is equivalent to the risk, and the reward is equivalent to the work you need to put in. And so most people will hear that and they'll start the brand and they'll make the videos and everything will look nice and they'll get views and they'll get likes, and they found ways to navigate the personal brand space and to influence and to control and to manipulate the system to work in their benefit. And so success feels rampant. But what you have to understand is that the goal you seek to attain is far beyond what you see and what you can measure. The goal you seek to attain will appear as soon as you become it. And so what I want you to do is to truly understand and embody the potential and simply focus on loving the work and embodying success as an individual. I do not want you to think about anything on the outside. I do not want you to think about anything intrinsic. I want you to truly embody success as an individual. And so what that means is I want you to totally forget about your goal. I want you to write down your goal in specific detail, and then I want you to close that notebook and you can burn the page, you can put it in a closet to show yourself later. But what I want you to do is write your goal down in specific, and then once you're done writing it down, I want you to embody that goal, and I want you to zoom out of yourself and truly embody that goal. Now, most will complicate that. Simply embody your goal, understand that it is yours to have, you already have it, and then forget it. And every time you worry or doubt yourself, it's a lie. And the more you can reinforce the fact it's a lie, the more you can embody your goal, the more you build state coherency, the more you enter a transitional stage where you begin to transform yourself. Your reality begins to transform, but transformation begins within you, because what is within you is going to reflect outwardly. And so most will instantly misconstrue this, and they will embody the goal and they'll believe they have it right now in the present moment. But what I want you to understand is that you do have it in the present moment. It just hasn't materialized. And so it is there energetically, yes, but it has not materialized. And so if you're a millionaire, you wouldn't be working a job. But if you don't have the millions because they haven't materialized, it doesn't mean the millions are not there. It simply means that it hasn't materialized. It's still in the state of frequency and vibration, and you need to cohere to that state. It is there. It just has not materialized into material form. And so what I want you to understand is that reality itself operates in a state of waves. And so everything that is created begun as vibrancy, as vibration and frequency. And so the moment you set the intention and embody the goal, the frequency is set. And what you have to do is now feed your frequency with energy. And so the frequency is the blueprint, and the energy you feed the frequency is the twisting and turning of the machinery, generating your reality, generating the end goal. And so most of you guys sophisticate this. Most of you guys believe that, I now understand everything. But you have to understand that you don't comprehend what the fuck I just said. And so the best thing to do is to follow the steps that I said, and then feed your frequency with personal development. And through that, everything will reveal itself to you, because you are not believing in anything. You are simply just embodying the state. Most of you guys embody the state, and then your thoughts are now totally fucked up. You start thinking from the state of already having, which is good, but it's not materialized, so you have to think rational. This is why we have a rational mind and we have a creative imagination mind. This is why we have two hemispheres of the brain, because one side is creative and one side is rational. And so if you begin to think irrationally in a logical reality, well, this will manifest as problems that do not need to be there. And so the best thing to do is focus on feeding your frequency. Do not compare yourself to anything outside of you, because you do not know at all what is going on outside of you, because you have to understand that everything you perceive is 100% a reflection of you. I came across this thought this morning. I was walking and I was thinking, and my brain wasn't stimulated because I just woke up. And so again, I go on walks all the time. Every time I wake up, I go for a walk. I let my mind sink. I think. I don't go on my phone. I don't do anything. I don't stimulate my mind. I just sit there and I allow my mind to breathe, especially after waking up, because you have to understand that sleeping is a state of consciousness as well. And so when you sleep, you enter dimensions that you wouldn't enter when you're in physical reality, in your corporeal being. When you're in the incorporeal aspects of yourself, you can enter different dimensions unconsciously. What the fuck do you think is a dream? And so when I wake up, I came to the realization that everything I perceive is 100% a reflection of me. I can only assume what is outside of myself, but I will never truly know or understand unless it's a logical equation being solved through rationality. And so that simply means I cannot assume anything outside of me because it is a reflection of me unless it's logically solved through cognitive and actual factuality perception, actual logical perception. And so what you have to understand is that you can assume emotional states and you can do this and you can do that. But if you're not actively sensing, if you're not actively aware of it, if you're just guessing, well, it's a reflection of you. And so this is why you need to focus on the personal development. When you focus on the personal development, this is where you begin to increase in comprehension. This is where you begin to increase in awareness. This is where you begin to increase in ability. This is where you can acquire thought formulations, aka knowledge, and apply this to your own complex construct within your own consciousness. You have to simply understand that when you find knowledge and you induce this into your consciousness through reading or whatever you do, through listening to videos or whatever the fuck you do, you have to understand you're simply absorbing other thought material to produce better, more complex, higher grade levels of thought material. And so my videos have a specific level of thought material. And so what I want you to understand is that what we focus on is the mental domain and the mental mastery. And while we focus on the growth of ourselves as we proliferate per second and become a conduit for life, and we retain and maintain more levels of higher levels of life, what I want you to understand is through you focusing on yourself, you will begin to transition realities, and it will happen through you, not outside of you. And so let go of anything outside of you. Focus on the goals within you. Focus on the character within you. Embody your frequency. Feed your frequency through personal development. Stop doing, be and become it by feeding, because you are becoming your frequency. So be and become your frequency. Stop doing shit. Peace.